going on, y'all? It's your boy Ned Mac with DFS Stats and Facts. Fresh off work, sorta. Actually, I've been off for a little bit, man, but I had to get everything together. Very busy week now, being in peak and all, man. But shout out to everybody that still continues to follow DFS Stats and Facts and shows the love, the likes, and everything. I really appreciate y'all. But I also need y'all to subscribe for new people and people that don't know. Let me fix my hat a little bit. Yeah, people that don't know about us, tell a friend and tell a friend to tell your moms, tell your dads, tell everybody, man. But yeah, man, this game tomorrow, I cannot wait to get into this. But this is why I do this, man. Like games like this, Cowboys, Bears on prime time, and the way these two defenses have been gone completely nowhere in fantasy, man. I'm starting with them. But yeah, man, these defenses are really evenly matched tomorrow, and I would stay completely away from them. If you're doing multiple lineups, you do your thing, do your thing. But look, DraftKings, they got the big Thursday night showdown, $10 entry. They got other games, but the big game is a $10 entry, obviously, with the 250K to first. And we're going to get right into it, man. Let me get these defenses out the way because it really just is blowing my mind. These defenses have 8 defensive fumble recoveries between both of them. The Bears defense, who is 4,000 by the way, and the Cowboys is 4-4. But the Bears defense has 8 interceptions. The Cowboys have 4. This is all year, mind you. The Bears have 28 sacks. The Cowboys have 32. Uh, they both have allowed mad points from week to week, and I don't trust neither one of them. Why? Because I'm looking for the big points. I'm looking for like defenses to give me the 10 points or more, and neither one of these defenses have been doing that, especially recently or as of late, right? However you want to say it, but double-digit fantasy numbers between them. Week 3 and week 4, they both had double digits. The Cowboys have had more double-digit fantasy numbers. Week 7, that was before the bye, I believe against us, the Eagles, and week 9 after the bye. I'm not trusting neither one of these defenses. Again, if you think that something's going to happen tomorrow, like some reverse or whatever, on prime time, I'm all for the reverses with prime time, but I don't see it happening. Them giving me fantasy off of that. Week 10, the Cowboys even gave you 0 fantasy points. So I'm not trusting those defenses. I say stay away from the defenses, and I'm going to tell you who to go with, though. I'm going wide receiver happy tomorrow, and I'm going to explain that. Why I got stats and facts on that. I'm going in on this game. This game, I'm telling you, it's some really serious money to be made. I know I say that probably every Thursday or whatever, but no. This one, I would really just stack receivers, yo. Wide receivers that were wilding and that continue to wild out. I'm going to tell you the ones that have been really wilding, and I'm going to tell you the ones that have been wilding off of circumstances. I'm going to start with my boy Anthony Miller, man. Look, he's 7,000 tomorrow, 10-5 as a captain. My man only had or didn't have over 80 yards receiving until Thanksgiving, and I do not trust that. Why? Because you want to know who else went off on Thanksgiving? Mitchell Trubisky. And he's a bum to stay away from again. But I'm going to get to him. But Anthony Miller, he had 9 receptions, 140 yards, no touchdowns on Thanksgiving. But it gave you 26 fantasy. Somebody ate off of that. Another receiver to think about is Allen Robinson. You want my advice? You're getting it tonight, for real. Allen Robinson, 9-6, 14-4 as a captain. Back-to-back games with 20-plus fantasy. I like Allen Robinson. Why? Because he should be the number 1 receiver anyway. And in my eyes and a lot of other people's eyes, especially Chicago's fans, Allen Robinson should always be the number 1 receiver. Taylor Gabriel is still out. But yeah, I trust Allen Robinson. Amari Cooper is another one. Obviously for the Cowboys, he had 8 receptions, about 80-something yards. But no, he did not score on Thanksgiving, not this year. But yeah, receiver-wise, man, I would just go in, man. Honorable mentions, obviously, Michael Gallup and Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb is a veteran. Just because Amari Cooper is the number 1 receiver for the Cowboys, do not forget about Michael Gallup, and definitely do not forget about Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb has been coming up from week to week. Later on, earlier in the season, obviously he wasn't getting that much love, but now he is. Randall Cobb, 6'4", as a flex, 9'6" as a captain. That's beautiful, especially with a $50,000 salary. Week 10 real quick, he gave you 25.6. Week 11, he's been going in the right direction. Week 11, 24.5. Week 12, 12.6. Decreased a little bit. And on Thanksgiving, he only gave you 8.3. And that was the 3 receptions and 53 yards. You really, really, really must choose wisely tomorrow, okay? Again, going back to the Bears side now. Tariq Cohen. I'm picking him over David Montgomery. Why? Because David Montgomery ain't been doing nothing. He snapped a little bit on Thanksgiving. But again, that is because it was Thanksgiving. This is my theory. Take it or leave it, whatever. Mitchell Trubisky is a bum, okay? Mitchell, I even got a whole nickname for him now. It's Mitchell Super Risky Trubisky. I wouldn't pick him if I was drunk off whiskey. Don't do it. If you want to do it, go ahead, man. I'm trying to tell you, though. I think it's really risky, especially tomorrow. Cowboys defense actually might show up tomorrow, but I don't like the defenses either. But if I had to pick a defense, I'm going with the Cowboys defense. Why? Because they're probably going to be sacking the crap out of Mitchell Trubisky. Yeah, I talked about David Montgomery. I'm picking Tariq Cohen over David Montgomery. Why? Because I already talked about it. And I think it was the last video in the week. The last 2 Sunday videos, I was talking about Tariq Cohen. Tariq keep going Cohen. Why? Because he's been coming up since about week 10 now. Tariq Cohen's been getting that love. I called it, but whatever. But Tariq Cohen has been getting the love from Mitchell Trubisky, but his fantasy numbers have been going up. Mitchell Trubisky is just too risky. I can't stress it enough, man. I can't stress it enough because he's one of those bulls. You throw him in the lineup because you think he's coming up, right? You're not really paying attention to the numbers, not really paying attention to who he's playing week to week. And you think, oh, Mitchell Trubisky, oh, look, he had 20 this, 20 that. Put him in tomorrow if you want. And you're going to be tight when he give you like 7 or 10 or throw like 5 interceptions or something because he should have never been in your lineup when you could just stack with these receivers, stack with Tariq Cohen. I would even put Blake Jarwin and Jason Witten, honorable mentions, tight ends that be getting sneaky touchdowns, especially on primetime for Jason Witten, that just be getting these sneaky stuff over Mitchell Trubisky. The salary is just, it's completely crazy. 8-8 as a flex for Mitchell Trubisky, 13-2 as a captain. No. It's just gonna be a no, man. I can't do it. I don't see me doing it, man. So if you want to go badass kickers, I'm picking Panero, my boy Eddie Panero over Brett Meyer, who gave you 1 fantasy point last week. Very disrespectful. I'm looking for them Justin Tucker numbers, if anything, you know what I mean? But Eddie Panero has done that. He's giving you good numbers kicker-wise. So if you're doing multiple lineups, go. Go ahead. Go ahead with the kicker. But I would pick 1. I wouldn't put 2. If you're on FanDuel or whatever, have a ball. But I'm strictly with Draftkings, so I'm picking 1. And if you had to pick 1, just go Panero. But yeah, man, it's really not too much. But this is a very, very, very serious choose wisely game. I'm trying to tell you, because you already know, man. If you really play fantasy and stuff like that, you already know one player can really screw up your fantasy for you. Screw up your lineup, and then you're done. You're out the money. You mad. You tight. You want to hop in another game because you lost your bread or whatever. If you're going with one lineup tomorrow, just one lineup, definitely do not go with Mitchell Trubisky, okay? If I can, I can really seriously cannot stress that enough. Don't do it. If he has a game tomorrow, I promise you, if he has a game tomorrow, I will be right back on here and apologize. But I doubt if I'm making that video because he's not going to have a game tomorrow. Get out of here, man. Get your money, man. Love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'm going to see y'all on Friday.